When most people hear the term gentle parenting, they imagine soft voices, patient guidance, and children growing up feeling deeply loved and understood. A world without yelling, without punishment, where every moment is met with empathy. It sounds like a dream, but what if I told you that behind this ideal there are stories, sometimes subtle, sometimes startling, of parents struggling, of children navigating boundaries in ways that aren't always simple, and of the hidden tensions that come when kindness and discipline intersect. Today, we're exploring the dark side of gentle parenting, not to condemn it, but to understand it. Gentle parenting has grown in popularity over the last few decades. Books line the shelves, Instagram feeds overflow with smiling children and serene homes, and experts advocate for connection over correction. At its core, the philosophy is deeply human. Meet children where they are, prioritize understanding over control, and nurture emotional intelligence. Yet, as with any philosophy, the reality is more complicated than the ideal. Some families discover that the very principles meant to create harmony can sometimes create confusion, tension, or unexpected challenges. Part 1. The philosophy and its appeal. Gentle parenting emphasizes respect. It suggests that children are full human beings, deserving of empathy and thoughtful responses, even when they misbehave. Parents are encouraged to focus on the why behind actions rather than punishing the behavior itself. For many, this approach is transformative. Parents who were once reactive, shouting out of frustration, learn to pause, breathe, and respond. Children feel seen and heard. Relationships deepen. Emotional resilience can flourish. But the appeal of gentle parenting is also part of its subtle risk. The philosophy places enormous responsibility on parents to manage their own emotions constantly, to always respond thoughtfully, to never react out of anger or frustration. That level of self-regulation, while admirable, can be exhausting. Some parents report feeling guilty when they slip, even in moments of very human imperfection. The pressure to be consistently gentle can become a heavy, almost impossible expectation. 2. When kindness collides with boundaries. Another challenge emerges in the realm of boundaries. Gentle parenting doesn't reject limits, it reframes them. Instead of, "No, you can't do that," it often becomes, "I understand you want to do this, but here's why it isn't safe." On paper, this makes perfect sense. In practice, it requires nuance, patience, and often a lot of repetition. Children, especially younger ones, may push limits not out of defiance, but because they are testing the world and their own growing independence. When boundaries are communicated through constant dialogue rather than firm, consistent structure, some parents find that children interpret flexibility as negotiability. This can lead to repeated testing, frustration, and tension in the household. It's not that gentle parenting creates misbehavior. Rather, the way boundaries are applied, or at times inconsistently applied, can create a delicate balance between nurturing autonomy and maintaining household safety or routines. Here's a question that often surprises parents and experts alike. Can too much empathy sometimes make discipline harder? Some reports suggest that when children never experience consequences that feel firm, they may struggle to develop patience or resilience in certain real-world situations. It's not about punishment, it's about preparing children to navigate challenges that will inevitably arise outside the home. This is where gentle parenting intersects with a subtle tension: how to teach resilience without resorting to harshness. Part 3. Parental pressure and emotional fatigue. One of the most overlooked aspects of gentle parenting is its impact on the parent's mental and emotional well-being. Practicing empathy and patience is demanding. When parents are constantly striving to model perfect emotional responses, to respond thoughtfully to every outburst, and to maintain calm in the face of stress, fatigue can build. Some parents experience feelings of guilt, anxiety, or isolation, wondering if they are doing enough or if they are doing it wrong. In online communities, debates can be fierce. The gentle parenting ideal sometimes becomes a subtle source of judgment, where any slip feels like failure. And yet, it's not just about the parents. children are sensitive to the emotional states of their caregivers. If a parent is exhausted, anxious, or conflicted, these feelings can ripple through the family dynamic, sometimes creating the opposite of the calm, nurturing environment the philosophy aims to foster. 4. Misinterpretations and extremes. Like any approach, gentle parenting can be misapplied or misunderstood. In its extreme forms, some families may avoid any form of correction or guidance, fearing that it could harm their child emotionally. The intent is noble, but the result can sometimes be a lack of structure, leading children to feel uncertain about limits or expectations. It's important to clarify, gentle parenting does not advocate permissiveness. It does not suggest that children should run free without rules. But the subtle line between guidance and permissiveness can blur, especially when parents are navigating a world of conflicting advice, societal pressures, and their own childhood experiences. Some psychologists note that children benefit from a balance, consistent, loving guidance paired with boundaries that are clear and predictable. When that balance shifts too far in one direction, challenges can emerge. Part 5. Emotional complexity in children. Children are complex emotional beings. Gentle parenting seeks to honor that complexity, to acknowledge feelings, and to validate experiences. Yet when children are given too much control over decisions or behaviors without corresponding guidance, they can struggle with frustration, disappointment, or delayed gratification. Imagine a child who has never been asked to wait for something they want, or to navigate a situation where the answer is no. Over time, they may encounter difficulties in social settings, school, or structured environments where rules are inevitable. Again, this is not a condemnation of gentle parenting. It's a nuanced observation that every approach has trade-offs. In some cases, children may internalize an intense sense of empathy or responsibility if they perceive their parents' stress or guilt. They may feel pressured to behave perfectly or to manage their parents' emotions, which can lead to subtle but real challenges in self-expression or emotional regulation. 6. Cultural and societal contexts. It's also worth considering the societal context in which gentle parenting operates. Many modern societies value independence, achievement, and self-assertion, sometimes over emotional attunement. Gentle parenting can clash with these broader expectations. Children who are nurtured with extreme sensitivity at home may face external pressures that feel abrupt, harsh, or confusing. Parents, too, may feel judged by peers, teachers, or extended family when their approach differs from more traditional methods. This can create a sense of isolation or defensiveness, adding another layer to the emotional complexity of practicing gentle parenting in a modern world. All of this isn't meant to scare anyone away from gentle parenting. Far from it. Many families thrive under this approach, and research shows that children raised with empathy and connection often develop strong social skills, emotional awareness, and confidence. The point is to approach it with awareness, understanding that no philosophy is without its nuances, trade-offs, and challenges. Gentle parenting, like any intentional approach to raising children, requires reflection, flexibility, and self-compassion. Recognizing potential pitfalls doesn't negate its value, it strengthens it, allowing families to adapt thoughtfully to their own needs and circumstances. Perhaps the true lesson lies in balance. Gentle parenting asks us to slow down, to listen, and to empathize, but it also challenges us to recognize our limits, to set thoughtful boundaries, and to accept that imperfection is inevitable for both parent and child. When we acknowledge these realities, gentle parenting becomes not an idealized script, but a living practice, messy, human, and deeply profound. And maybe, in embracing the complexity, we learn the most important lesson of all, that parenting, like life itself, is rarely perfect, but it can still be filled with love, connection, and growth. Final hook. So the next time you hear about gentle parenting or see a seemingly perfect family living it, remember that the surface is only part of the story. Every parent navigates unseen struggles. Every child encounters hidden lessons, and every home carries its own quiet complexities. Understanding that depth is what allows us to appreciate not just the philosophy, but the humanity behind it. If this exploration gave you a new perspective, take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to the channel to continue unpacking the fascinating, nuanced sides of parenting and human relationships. And I'd love to hear from you. Share your experiences or thoughts in the comments. How have you seen empathy, guidance, and boundaries interact in your own life? Let's continue the conversation together.